Hi, I'm Glenda Breslin, and I live in Mountain Home, Idaho, and I'm doing a project for my holistic nutrition class on sprouting mung beans, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But first of all, I want to tell you that excuse me, all sprouts are living food that contain live enzymes. They aid digestion and assimilation by breaking down complex carbohydrates into more simple substances. Sprouts are likely the most vital and alive, nourishing foods that we can eat. Sprouting makes many nutrients more available: enzymes, proteins, minerals, vitamins, phytochemicals, and fatty acids. Minerals chelate to merge with proteins in sprouting, and that makes them increase their functioning. Sprouting develops vitamin content 30 times larger than it will be in mature plants. And sprouting increases vitamin E, beta-carotene, the precursor of vitamin A, B-complex vitamins, and vitamin C. And mung beans have been measured to produce up to 500% in some of the vitamin Bs. So it's an especially healthy sprout to be sprouting. So I purchased some mung beans at the local health food store. They cost me $3.75 for this particular pound. I'm sure they're cheaper some places, but anyway, that's what I could find. And we're going to take half a cup of the mung beans, and I want to show you what these little mung beans look like. They are very, very beautiful color of green, and they have a little white spot on them, and they're have very hard shells. So I have quite warm water here, not hot, but quite warm, to put them into to begin their sprouting. It's winter time, and ordinarily I would only leave these to soak for 12 hours. But because it's winter time and this water will become very cold, the sprouts won't sprout nearly as well as they would in the summer. So I'm going to leave them 24 hours, and then we'll come back and check them tomorrow, and after they've been here for 24 hours. See you then. Okay, we're on day number 2, and so they need the mung bean seeds need to be rinsed. So here they are. They've doubled in bulk. They've almost doubled in bulk. Some of them have started to sprout, and they need to be rinsed each day. So in order to rinse them, this first day, I'm just going to put them in a bowl and put lots of, rinse them in water. By putting some water on them, and then I'm going to just drain as much water as I can, because I don't need all the water drained off them, because they're going to need to have some moisture. So just put them back in the pan now and smooth them out. And you need to be able to see a little moisture in them, because they're still growing. I'm going to be gone all day today, so I'm going to make sure that the cloth on top is good and damp too. You don't want them too wet, like sitting in water, but they can handle a little bit of water. And then put the pan back on them, and they're okay. They'll be okay until tomorrow. Okay, we are on day number 3, and so I want you to be able to see that the beans are now You can see the little sprouts on them. It's quite a bit colder this season when I'm doing it than it usually is. So when I do this, so it's taking longer than what it does. Now instead of taking these over to the sink and rinsing them this time, I'm simply going to add some water until, not that I can see water through it, but until I can be sure that all of the seeds are damp. And I will do this a couple of times during the day, each day from now on, so that they will continue to grow. And again, I'm putting damp cloth on the top and putting my weights back on. Remember, the weights that I'm using are the cans here with another tin. And we will see how it goes again tomorrow. Hi, today is day 4, and I was really concerned that they were moving so slowly, so I helped them out a bit yesterday. I took my electric heating pad and I put a large plastic bag on it, and then I put a towel over the top of it, over the plastic bag, and I put it on a low setting and I warmed them up. My pad has a 2-hour setting on it, and then it turns off, so I did it 3 times yesterday. And you'll notice that the difference in the seeds today is quite tremendous. But I was afraid that they might either rot or not get finished in time for my project. So here are the seeds today. You can see that they are very much grown since yesterday. And at this point, I'm not going to actually rinse them. I'm going to just add water, and so I add about a half a cup of water each time that I and you can either sprinkle them or you can pour water on, but you need to make sure that all the seeds get damp. And as you use these cloths, some of them turn a little brown on the edges. I'm going to wash these, change them out later, and then put the weights back on. You need to make sure that they're damp all the time. You don't want too much water in there, but they need to be good and damp. Hi, this is day number 5. And I think you'll be quite surprised at how much growing our seeds have done since yesterday. My photographer could only come at 5 o'clock, so actually we've had about a day and a half. But I wanted to show you, first off, part of how we've been able to get that much growth is that I've had a heat pad underneath the sprouts part of the time in order to be able to get through with this in the time that I need to be able to give my photographer some time to get his editing done. Anyway, I also added some weight. Instead of the cans being sideways, they're now on top. And I'll show you how I do this. I have my hot pad here, and I put it in plastic, and then I put a towel over the top of it, and then I put my tray of seeds with the weights on top of it. Okay, now you will see here that our sprouts are nice and large, and you can see that they're growing. They have become not quite as like the commercial ones yet, but they're certainly heading that way. And so I have added about a half a cup of water 3 or 4 times a day, and just kind of stirred them up a little bit. And we'll be doing that a couple of more times until tomorrow, and then we'll see if they haven't grown enough so we can call us finished. Hi. Hi, this is our last day. I've already taken a few of the beans out to clean them ahead of time, but you can see how very much our beans have grown since we started. Remember we just barely had the bottom covered, and now we have a good 2.5 inches of beans in our pan. And let's see if we can show you how big they actually are. They are actually very much like your commercial ones are. I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about vitamins and minerals that there are a lot of calcium and magnesium and iron in calcium, potassium, and magnesium in mung beans. So that's one of the reasons why they're really good. I also don't know if I've made enough emphasis about the fact that we've kept these out of the sunlight by putting a cloth over the top of them every time so that they don't have any greening. You notice when we were looking at them that there's the only green in them is the green from the seed pods. Okay, now to finish the harvest, ordinarily you'll do this at the sink, but since my sink is, if I did it at the sink, I'd have to have my back towards you. We won't do that. And I'll put a few that I already have done in there. And basically what you do is just take the seeds out and the sprouts out, and the little seed coats, you're going to dispose of those. And that's what gets you the nice mung beans that you're used to at the store or at the Chinese restaurant. I think that's all that we need to do today, except that I want to challenge you to do this sprouting for yourself and sprout lots of things. I thought it might be nice to show you one of the sprouters that I use. I like this one because you put the water in the top, and it has a little a little spigot kind of thing that drains the water down to the bottom to each one, so you can actually do 4 different kinds of sprouts at a time. Now these are all going to be green because they're going to be in the sunlight, and so the chlorophyll will develop. And in our mung beans, we don't want any chlorophyll developing, and so we had to keep them out of the sun. So happy sprouting.